Hey, people, I'm live and I'm on Facebook. I hope it says I'm being heard, but that wasn't the case yesterday. I was testing out this. Um, a fellow on Ecamm got on. He said, South Carolina is making these. Now, I made this one from something that was shipped to me. So you're on the Carol Butler Show. I'm live now at an odd time. I'm having my windshield repaired right now. As and I can finally show you I want to call it the dangle. This is the adapter. This little white thing, because as we all know, the phone, the iPhone, doesn't any longer have a hole to stick a lavalier mic. So just one more. I must have 7 adapters. So without the hole, I can't stick this in and do, not that everyone's, this is, will be over 6 feet away. I have 2. But I had to get this little doohickey. Donger, I just wanted y'all to know it's possible. And you plug this into the bottom of your iPhone since the hole's not there. So now I can say this. And so when I am finally out somewhere other than my house, somewhere else with stronger Wi-Fi also, I'll be doing interviews and they will be on YouTube. One of the questions that I have, and one reason, is that I want you to tell me what you think of the emoji. I tried to make one, but they didn't have my hat. So, and they only have younger looking people. Although I've seen people that men can look a little older and put a beard on, and I think it's really cool. I'm thinking of making playlists on YouTube, whatever I name them. They'll be easier to find of my videos, so you won't have to go wonder what our latest is, if that's how you want to look for what I'm doing, or but I want a consistent look, and I don't know if I want to make me a cartoon. I can do that instead of an emoji. But I made an emoji, and I did something fun that I will do probably, whether I use it consistently or not, for all my playlists, where all my shows will start with this emoji or something else that I create. And before I show you that, which will be exciting that you can make an emoji of yourself, I want you to know, because today is the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment that gave women the right to vote. And that has a lot to do, if I could stand up, that's another thing that's been going on here. We can do it. We can do it. Women, we can decide this election. And I'm not going to get into politics today. One of the reasons since April, and you can't walk in this boot. And I'm not a very patient person sitting still. I'm not. But in April, I got out of bed one day, and this has straps. It pulls your foot like that, because what happens when you get plantar, always mispronounce this, fasciitis, or I call it fatuitis, because you can't really move. You can't walk in that boot, and it's 30 minutes a foot. So I started in the morning after I feed all the cats. I put that on, and then there are all these exercises, and it's so time consuming. So then I put them all at night, because I thought I'm going to sit down and stop working and watch like TV and the news and things that's going on. And but then I really didn't feel like then either. Then in bed, I got a towel where you put your foot. I just want you to know, maybe you should be doing this, because this is something that happens to women more commonly than men. I walk for 20, now going on 22 years, on very rocky terrain. Our whole yard is rocks and roots, and stepping over things and dragging things. And I don't know, and I'm older, but younger people can get this too. But taking a towel and putting it in the center of your foot and just stretching your calf will probably prevent this awful pain. And because of that, oh yes, klutz here. I'm not a klutz, but I was coming back from the wildlife stand, which is downhill, carrying food and a jug of water like I do every morning, and trying to shoo off the vulture that's I can't catch to help, who's injured. to keep him from eating the cat food. And I can't specifically feed the vulture. He's going to get cat food anyway. I just don't like any animal suffering. But I sunk my toe in a root and I didn't curse. I want you to know that. I just went, oh no, on top of all this. Oh, now I really can't walk. And I mean, I tore my toenail all the way almost off. So finally saw I had to, because I'm a mover and a shaker and I like to move. And it's kind of hard to do that when you can't walk. The dog can't be walked, and he's supposed to be losing weight. And both of us have been gaining weight, and I'm eating less, and dog is eating a lot less. I mean, I know exactly his portion. Mine, I never know what I'm going to buy. I would be tired of eating the same dog food every morning. And I should show you the pills he takes and all of this. And all the cats have a different diet and something, and they're in different locations. So it's really been quite a trip trying to move. And I feel like I need to, because I can't have sponsors on Facebook. It's that simple. I think Facebook just came out with Facebook Producer. Not interested. I mean, I've been here 4 years and I had 1,500 people, and I have a lot of interest from people on YouTube, but I'm not organized yet because I always use YouTube as a way of compressing my videos that I would put in my course, or that I would show on the show. Watch this. And I never had the opportunity, because if you'll recall, if you know anything about YouTube, to live broadcast, you had to have 10,000 followers. And I went, well, that's going to do it for me. And then to be live like I am now, there may be, I don't know, I'm going to guess 10 max developers who have a live programming set up. Facebook is the biggest. Facebook was first, and that's why my first broadcasts were from a phone, with doing interviews, and like I've always said, with a beekeeper and a journalist. And I interviewed Catherine Gillis, the only master traditional retoucher and spotter. And you hear that noise, they tell me they don't know what it is. Apple can't figure out what that noise is, and it just keeps happening. I'm not touching anything, not moving the mouse, and it's not Ecamm. But I'm so surprised that the schools went with, because they're cheaper, apparently. They are cheaper. PCs, I call them computers that run with scissors. And if I were an accountant, I'd have to do that. If I worked at NASA, I'd have to have a PC. Also, if I had like zero money, I'd still find a way to get a Mac. I've used them since 1998. It's monkey see, monkey do almost. And the software that I'm using right now, there's so many things you'll see me doing that I'm not, instead of being a talking head. And I mean, they're just not violating copyright or do sound effects. And I'm in total control of that. And this background is because I didn't know when Safelite was going to get here. As you know, I was rear-ended in December, and my cat was in the car. I didn't call for a police report because I looked at the back of my minivan, which my crippled dog could get in, and thought, oh, it's just the gate. Let's videotape this. Let's exchange license, insurance. And the guy that hit me was crying. He drove one of those trucks that have the lift arms, and it was rather old. And it lifted my gate and bumper up. So I thought, hey, that's why you have insurance. So I went 70 days without a car. That meant the dog and I was walking to the grocery store with a backpack because Catherine was working or in the mountains taking care of her mother. And I did borrow the neighbor's truck for a week, and I thought, this is just ridiculous. Make up your mind. What is the problem? And it turned out neither my insurance company nor the other the one that rear-ended me, and he knew it. He was crying. He said, "I've ruined your life." I said, "Nobody's going to ruin my life." I said, "But I think you've killed my cat, or my cat is unconscious, and that's why I want pictures. I'm not filing a police report." And I couldn't get my minivan up. I just wouldn't go off the curb on a main highway. We only had one main one from Lake Wylie to Charlotte, where most people drive because there's not a lot of employment in Lake Wylie. And particularly now, there's not, unless you know how to do live streaming. And I think everybody and their brother seems to be teaching it. And I'm taking, I would say every day, 3 classes, free 3 classes. I have paid for one academy to get me started correctly. And after that, it's like going to college or anywhere else. The teacher, you can't take a sponge and go, but I do the next best thing. I think I present really well teaching people how to do something in the simplest way. But then, Catherine, trying to help someone else taking their garbage in South Carolina, you can either pay someone $60 or $70 a month to every week come get your little can of garbage and take it all away, or like us, there's that noise again. Like us, it's 3 miles down the road. Catherine has a truck, so we were loading some of the neighbors and our garbage in, and a friend helped instead of me, who was still unable and still can't walk really great now, but the pain at least is subsiding, just in case you want to know. And sitting at the stoplight, a truck rear-ended her. I mean, slammed her, hit the accelerator. Now, whether he meant to or not, I don't know. Maybe he saw police somewhere, or I don't know what he did. But he threw it in reverse, and he said, "I'm just going to pull over to the side." And Catherine got whiplash, and the other passenger, and her foot has got to be broken. She has yet to have it x-rayed. Right now is pretty difficult. The next day she was going to see her mother. So she wasn't going to sit because the nearest hospital was not accepting emergency patients. And both of them decided that they could not sit in a COVID-19 filled room right before Catherine's going to see her mother, who just turned 89. And Catherine does all her grocery shopping for the month. And it's a very difficult situation, I think, for Catherine. But the hit and run, a Good Samaritan, this is so neat a story to tell. I just have to tell it again. A Good Samaritan who was 3 cars behind Catherine when she got hit, followed, just pulled over in the other lane and said, "Not today." And this truck zoomed after the truck that hit them. It was a 2-door one, F-150. And you're so shaken up. And they both were injured. We still don't know how severely, but Catherine's not going to lose her job. And at any rate, she can move. I want x-rays. And that's like pulling teeth right now with doctors who and also her insurance is like, it probably cost her $13,000 to get it like last time. 5 minutes in the ER when you had bad insurance. And I'm still angry about that. That happened once to me. I mean, 5 minutes with the doctor and didn't even do a Band-Aid and said inconclusive. It was $11,000. I don't know about you. I don't have 1,000 right now. I am rebuilding my life. And it's not like, well, why don't you take some from your savings or your retirement? Well, I would, but I used it to save animals. And I was put here to do something bigger, I think, but that's pretty doggone big to be 24/7 held in captivity and do that. But during this time, because of them, I learned I was interrupted every hour because I had to tame them and shelter them and feed them and take them to the vet. And then I had a housemate that had cancer, and it's been a circus lately of not pleasant things for all of us. The 170,000 people, and I tear up every time I see that have died from COVID-19, and then I see people not wearing a mask. I do not understand it. I get so angry, and really anger does nothing. So I don't know why they must not watch the news, or they're listening to the wrong people who are saying it's a hoax. I don't think the death of 170,000 people, nor most of them probably had very big families. Everybody I know, except for me, has a big family. Catherine is my family, and I have uh, probably 4 people I'd call friends, and we don't, of course, can't see each other. I can't risk getting Catherine sick. I can't be sick. Hey, I can't even walk now, but you should see me limping through the grocery store, and I'm so impatient with those little riding contraptions, and there are people in so much worse shape that need them. I just kind of use the cart, and hang on. So I wanted to come on to tell you what I've been doing. I have won an award which they do have some inaccuracies in it, which I will be correcting because I do not, woman of integrity. I have never said anything about myself that has not been true because I was taught not to lie. And I was probably 21 years old and I came home. Well, no, it was really, I was 19, came home from school, and I was mad at my mother and father. I said, why didn't you tell me people lied? And then I realized they didn't have such hot parents. They had parents that told them things that made them not be very confident. And in this pandemic, that led to me making the course, Be Confident for Life. So let me show you the emoji like I promised, and it'll be a welcome. I may or may not use this on YouTube, but I'd like some input. And in the next time you'll see me, I'll have a cartoon. I'll make my own cartoon of myself. I have Photoshop. Photoshop, if you've used it for 20 years, it's magic. Did you hear that? Whee! I have so many magic wands, and I need them right now. I want you to be safe. Take a look at this, and I'll try and be on soon again. 10 o'clock is not a good time for people in California or Canada, and they are the people that are most interested in me. Isn't that interesting? And the work that I'm doing and the course that I'm getting ready to do, which I will just have to be a surprise. So let me find the scene I want to show you, and tell me what you think of this emoji. And no, it won't look like me, but it will suggest me, and that's the best I could do, which is why I'm but it would be on every single video in YouTube with a title, whatever I'm going to talk about that day, so you can easily find them on a playlist, and it would just make the site look very neat, like I have admired other people's site doing the same thing, but maybe with their face instead of an emoji. So, but I can't seem to look the same because, oh yeah, I cut my hair myself. You like it? It was down to here. Cut my hair myself. I did take some tips, but the scissors I used were like rusted. And there's a little trick. Oh, I have to share this with you if you're cutting your own hair. You can't use like scissors like this. Do not use scissors like this. You see the tip? See the tip? They really don't go together. And when you're trying to cut, you do a cut with a pair of hair scissors, and then you go back in and pull, and they have to be pointed so you're not cutting out chunks. Well, my scissors are so rusted. Most people's hairstylists use, like, their scissors cost $400 and more, and that's probably being cheap. I bet they have more than one pair of scissors, and that's why they do such a good job. And you wonder, how did they get my bangs to look so great? Well, I can't do that, so I'm still going to be stuck in the hat for a while, but at least this won't. I didn't want to be making a mask out of my hair. Just didn't want to do it. So here's my emoji, and it should come right back to me. Yes, jumping up and down. let me know. And I'm going to show you something else. God, I hope it hit. This is another welcome. And I'm going to make sure that I can talk through it. So I'm going to look at my mic when I'm doing this. I knew my mic would cut off. That's going to be where you can subscribe to YouTube, where I'll teach, learn, you know, and I'm not doing a countdown now. I just wanted you to see this. I will be teaching 5 quick essential tips plus basics. I want you to subscribe, and that's where you do it with that bit.ly link. So please copy it. And I'm going to come back to me behind. This is my brick. And I could be showing videos behind me. There's so many things. I think children that are being forced to stay at home, and Apple having more money than I think Bill Gates right now. You know, they're like this. Certainly there are more PCs out there. Certainly Apple computers cost more. But then you get to use something like this, where I can go live and show videos and interview. They have what they call the guest feature coming up. And soon I'll be hitting the road with that, meaning I will have some very interesting people on this show. So I wish you'd let me know in the comments after the show. What did you think of me using the emoji to represent every single video? That was a GIF, GIF. I call it a GIF. Other people call it a GIF. It won't be moving, so it won't be so irritating. But I wanted something just to show it to you again and let you know that you can go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, but it's not designed yet for the reasons I gave earlier. And I'm going to celebrate the 100th year. God, just 100 years ago. So my grandmother didn't get to vote. And my great-grandmother couldn't vote. And my mother was not born in 1920. My father, oh God, I missed them, was a 1921 baby, and my mother was a 1924. So it took that they had to wait a while. And my first vote, by the way, I was at college at UNC Greensboro, North Carolina. And knowing I would be out of my county, out of my city, I did an absentee ballot. And it was so good to hear that the machines are being put back up. I have to say that. Vote. It is the most important election ever. I'm not excited. I was excited 4 years ago. I don't think I can take another 4 years. And vote your conscience. And I would say I wouldn't be either party, but that's what we're stuck with. I do know that I want kindness, and I want people to be able to earn a living. And I want, when we have a pandemic, that we act in unison, because we're all the same. I mean, we're all human beings. And the fire and all the animals, it just, I can barely watch the news anymore. It's so difficult. And I think we need to stay positive but fierce, like Michelle Obama said. You know, being positive doesn't mean you don't get angry. And I like being fierce. And that doesn't mean you curse. And I didn't. I've learned, poodaddle, like I said, that was the word my mother told me to use. It did not help when my toenail ripped almost off. But poodaddle did come to mind. It did make me smile as I crawled up the hill. So, excuse me for not being owned, but training has been intensive. I have so much I want to share with people that are being forced to be online and don't want to. If you know some of the basics, you'll do just fine. And I think that I can take what's taken me hours and condense it, as I have somewhat, and be confident for life. Which, if you send me your email by going to my school, yes, I still have Carol King Butler Academy, and you can look it up and find it anywhere. And just give me your email and I'll send you a coupon, and you can take that course for half price. and it was going to be a $500 course. It's $100, and very soon it will stay at $100. But right now we're in crisis, so send me your email, and I'll keep you updated about what shows I'll be doing, what I'll be talking about, and you'll be able to take Be Confident for Life for $50 if you just send me your email at Carol King Butler Academy. So I'm going to, because I am a professional, I'm going to use my outro, and see you soon.